welcome. Oh, we can't see ourselves today. Oh, okay. I thought we was going to be over here. Okay, that's fine. Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Gigi and L show. I am Gigi.
And I'm L.
And today we have a guest host, Alicia.
Hi, thanks for having me. Hello.
Hello. Would you mind telling the viewers your title, who you are?
Hello, my name is Miss Alicia B. Alicia White Walker. I'm an educator, book author, entrepreneur. I do a little bit of everything. Motivational speaker.
Don't forget mom.
And I'm a mom, a wife. Yes, I'm that first. A mom and a wife of two. And thanks for having me today.
You're welcome. Elle, anything about yourself that you would like to tell the viewers? I don't think you ever really introduced yourself.
I'm in a marching band.
You're a freshman in high school.
Don't tell nobody.
Oh, okay, don't mind. That's a secret.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, for everybody who haven't ever really heard me introduce myself, because I really do. So I don't really know how. I'm a mother, I'm a grandmom, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a creator, an artist, I'm a hairstylist by trade. What else am I? I do a lot of things. So today's show is going to be, we're going to talk today about teachers' accountability and responsibilities when it comes to the psychological welfare of our children. And this subject came to me just based on the things that Lyric comes home and tells me sometimes, something that may have been said to her by a teacher, or maybe that teacher's disposition was off that day and it kind of throws the kids off and things like that. So I was just wondering, how far does that go? Just how far does it go as far as training and everything else? Where do you feel like, okay, let me go here. Do you feel like, Alicia, the respect for teachers and the educators, how do you feel that it is nowadays? Because, back in the day when I was in school, you had a couple of unruly kids, but for the most part, we respected the fact that our teacher was our teacher. Mm-hmm. And she was somebody to be respected.
Well, to be quite honest with you, I feel that it's not a lot of respect. You might come across a few students here and there that knows that their teacher is their teacher and that they need to respect them. But a lot of times, we deal with a lot of unruly students, and it comes from home. So when they come to school, if they're not respecting their parents, they're not going to respect us. So we have to lay a foundation and let them know, we're not dealing with this. I don't know what you do at home, but you're not going to do that here. And I think that's a really, really huge problem that we're having in the school system nowadays, because it's not like it used to be. Mm-hmm. Back in the day, you say, sit down, Johnny. I'm going to call your parent. I'm going to call your grandmother. It was like, okay, let me straighten up. Right. But now it's kind of like,
call them.
Call my mama, call my daddy. They ain't going to do nothing. They're not going to answer the phone, et cetera, et cetera. So, yeah, I think that the respect isn't there. Mm-hmm. But as each individual educator, we have to set the boundaries. Mm-hmm.
So you do believe that it starts at home?
It does.
It starts at home. So you kind of do, what's going on?
It's clear now. It's behind.
The name?
The name?
Yeah, it's done.
You got it? Okay. All right. Yeah, so because I've seen where some kids are actually disciplined at home and wouldn't dare do those types of things at home that they do at school. Mm-hmm. And so in those cases, how do the parents react when you actually have a child that's being disruly in school and, the parents are kind of shocked?
Well, we have a lot of that, but we also have a lot of parents that knows their child and they're in denial. Mm-hmm. They'll say, Johnny won't do that at home, or Johnny doesn't do that at home, and he does. Mm-hmm. A lot of times it's the environment of the school, the climate of the school. For example, my son goes to a very, very strict high school. Mm-hmm. Fighting 45 days. So cussing 3 days. Okay. It's almost like military. Right. But they're so structured in that they take their rules and they don't bend them. So the students know, you come in here and act a fool, this is what's going to happen. So I think it has a lot to do with the school itself, the environment of the school, because most kids like to do what they see other kids do if they're not leaders.
I was wondering if kicking the kids out is like always the best thing, because to me, it seems like in life in general, a lot of people like to gravitate toward the children who are doing well. And, you know, the children who are being bad, you know, they like to send them away, send them back home. You know, they don't really want to take the time to work on them because they, like you said, they think it's their parents' problem. It starts at home. But I think that, you know, the school is part of the village.
Yes, and I totally agree. I totally agree with that. You know, I always say that some students you can tell when it's something that's going on at home, and you have some students that are just disruly. And I think as educators we have to distinguish which is which, and sometimes it can be hard. But when it comes to that, this is when you have to get the parents involved. And if the parents isn't willing to be involved, it's really nothing that we can do. Because, for example, at my building where I work at, we have in-school suspension, or it's called the SSI room. And pretty much it's the room that we send the students to when we don't want to suspend them, but they just need a break.
Yeah.
And
because there's a lot going on in the world.
it's a lot.
And it could be any reason why a child would come to school and just be off that day.
Yes.
And so, like with her, I had to explain to them before she even started school, like, listen, she's had a pretty traumatic experience. And she's mourning and things like that. And some days she might not be at her best, or she may, you know, act out in a different way, or something may trigger her. Who knows? You know, so just to, you know, be a little bit more patient and understanding, and kind of, if you see that, you know, just kind of talk to her and ask her, you know, is your day going okay? Instead of just, you know, getting attitude, getting mad, and, you know, Xing her out.
Yep.
Lyric. Have you actually witnessed somebody in your class, like, literally just acting up? Like, I see a lot of videos and stuff like that on online, where a kid may, like, be trying to fight the teacher, or tearing up the class, or fighting another student, and the teacher tries to break it up, and the child is fighting the teacher. It's just like a lot of stuff going on. Have you actually witnessed that in school yourself?
All the time.
What? All the time?
Wow.
Is it by the same people, or is it just different children just act out?
So it's kind of a mix, like the old students that do it all the time, and then they like become new students that get there, and then they see the old students, like, oh, I'm gonna do this too.
Oh.
Yeah.
So it's a thing where, like she said, the rules just aren't strict enough for them to understand that this is not a behavior that we're going to tolerate in the school. And I can believe that with her school especially, because we had an incident the very first day of school where a young lady put her hands on her, and they thought that they weren't about to kick her out, you know, and all that other kind of stuff. And I'm like, okay, well, let me tell you what y'all gonna do about this, because y'all obviously don't understand.
And you have to
you
sometimes.
know, what
you do.
Yeah. So what do you feel is the overall attitude or disposition that the teachers have towards teaching nowadays?
To be honest, nowadays, education isn't like it used to be. You have to have a love for it to do it. I personally care about the students. That's why I'm there. Like, I really do. It's funny because my students, they always say, you act like you are a mama, you know, and it, you know, it's cool. You know,
what's the age range or the grade that you?
Well, my building is K through 8, but I mainly have all middle school students.
Okay.
So all my students think they're grown.
Yeah, they're
you
at
know.
that age.
Yeah, but you know, I don't turn on and off for them. I'm real with them. You know, they in the morning I say, you know, one of my students, she get her hair, and I say, oh, boo, you looking cute. You know, they love it.
Yeah,
you know, they greedy constantly. I can't eat nothing. You know, they come in my room and they like, Miss Walker, can I have some of your Skittles? I'm like, how
So
you know
you
I got
cool.
Skittles?
You
So
one of
I'm
the
like the cool,
teachers. Mm-hmm.
you know, and so when they see me, I don't really too much have to be mean or, because it's
Right.
like, girl, bye.
Right.
Go to class, don't play with, you know, and they like, okay, I'm going, you know. And then you got some teachers that feel that they have to just be overboard. You don't have to be like that. You have to get the students and the kids to trust you. If they trust you, you got it made.
They don't have
You
problems.
got it
You don't
made.
have problems with those particular students
Yes.
that are normally troublemakers. Lyric, what, in your opinion, what's the teacher's overall disposition or attitude towards teaching in your school? I have to say in your school because I know that these teachers don't speak for everyone.
It depends on the teacher and sometimes the race. So.
Oh, okay. I can believe that.
Okay. Do you want to expound on that? 'Cause
Okay.
that was real vague. That was broad. Like, narrow it down. What are you saying?
Okay, so most of like the old black teachers, like they real rude, and like you know, since they old at the school,
To the teachers or to each other? Are they just rude in general to each other or just rude to the kids?
rude to the kids.
Okay.
And like the white teachers, they're really nice and everything. And then like we have some Muslim teachers, like I'm not gonna say bougie, but they have that attitude-ish, like you're gonna do this, you don't have a choice, or else I'm gonna get Mr. Wilder.
They're serious. They're pretty much structured and straightforward. This is what we came to do, type of thing. Do you have do you have diversity in your school as well, where there's different?
We do. It's more African American in my building. Women. But we do have Caucasian women there too. So it's kind of a mixture, but more African American.
Do you notice a difference in their style of dealing with the children or teaching? Since I'm going to assume that it's mostly African American.
I mean, I think the African American, we're more we pretty much know what to expect. Far as we know how to get through to the students a little bit different. The Caucasian teachers are really nice, but they know that they have to kind of, toughen up, for the lack of a better term, just to get the respect that's needed.
Agreed.
Can you see if I have anybody asking? I'm not on the page. Did anybody ask anything?
Let me add to what she just said.
Okay.
So, what she said was like just so true. Like the Caucasian teachers, they have to be like really, really rude. And even if they are really rude, they still gonna get treated like a joke because we know, well, not we, because I don't do nothing, but they know that they just don't stand a chance. And in this, like, not generation, but in this time period, it's more of like black people or like, brown skinned people have more control because it's not the slave days anymore. And so it's like, you did this to me, so now I'm going to run you over and I'm going to treat you like trash.
So you believe that, because that's a whole different podcast right there. So I'm going to let that stay right there. Alicia, where do you think education is heading?
Honestly, I don't think it's the same. If we don't get a grip on it, more and more students are not going to be interested. I mean, and it's just sad. To be 100% real with you, some days I go to work and my whole work day is consisting of behavior issues and no learning.
Right.
I mean, it's just what it is.
Wow.
Sometimes, you have to be a body in the building.
Right.
So nothing won't jump off.
Wow.
And then you have staff that they call off.
Yeah.
They need a mental break.
Just can't even do it today.
Like, look,
I'm not going.
I'm not dealing with this.
They're not
today.
paying me enough.
And that's exactly. Look, I'm not. No, you're not going to run me crazy. So it's just. I just think that education, hopefully it turns around, and but teaching is not like the top job anymore like it used to be.
Yeah, it used to be. Like
people
I said,
are running away from it.
It used to be well respected.
Yes.
A sought after career.
Yes.
Yeah, you couldn't pay me to be a teacher.
And I like what I do. I love what I do. I love my students. I worked with special needs students for years. Mm-hmm. So that was like something that I really, really enjoyed. Mm-hmm. And then, general ed. So I love it, because I like to see my students that's 20 now and look back and be like, oh, I taught them in the 4th grade,
Yeah.
And just to see where they've become.
Because you've been teaching how long?
Since 2005.
Okay, so that's 17 years.
Yes. And then, I have students that I'll run into, they'll say something like, I'm doing this, remember, when you showed me how to do this, Miss Walker. And it just makes me feel good, But I just think we have a long way to go when it comes to education, and it's really, really sad because as parents, we have to do what's right for our children. Mm-hmm. It's not like, you can just send your child to school and know that they're going to get the best education. You have to, do extra things to make sure that your child isn't a statistic, and it shouldn't be that hard.
So what about just taking out the schools, like as far as school buildings, and just online schooling?
Well, I think online schooling is okay for some students. You do have some students that need that one-on-one, that teacher in front of them type of instruction. So I think for the students that can handle it, I think it's pretty good. It just cuts out the social aspect, and they need that. Mm-hmm, they need that. My son, during COVID, he was online, and he did really, really well. Mm-hmm. I mean, he did really, really well. So I was happy about that. But then you had other parents that was complaining. They were like, my child can't get this. They need to be in school and things like that.
You think that's a parent thing or a child?
I think sometimes it's a parent thing. It depends. Yeah. And I think, because, sometimes... I'm going to be real with you. A lot of parents look at schools as a babysitter.
A place.
They don't care if their child learn or not. So that's why when they do act out and they get sent home, they mad. Mm-hmm. They're like, why he can't stay at home and he stabbed somebody?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You like, no, he's going home. So it depends. Now, if it's all for the right reasons, that's a different scenario. But for the most part, a lot of parents, not all, because I'm not going to say that, but I have parents has basically looked at school as a babysitting service.
With her and online schooling, with her, I saw a benefit in it because I actually got to see what she knew, where she was, and everything, because you can't always tell in school. They just bring home these papers that are, checked or done or whatever, but you don't really know how they got to answers, how they're resolving the problems or anything. You really don't know where your kid is at.
Definitely.
And so it got me to kind of know, where she was in math, how well she was reading, and those types of things. So I was able to address those things. So what about you, Elle? How do you feel about the online schooling versus in school?
I hate it so bad. Online school sucks. Like, for me, it sucks. Like, I just be sitting there, and then the only thing you could do is stay in that one place, and it's not like the school environment, like where you go to your locker, maybe late a few minutes. You just sit there.
Yeah.
And school, I feel like it's cool because you not only get social interactions, but it just gives you like something to do.
Alicia, what was the experience from a teacher's point of view doing online schooling?
Well, you had your students that were really serious about learning. They'll get on, they'll log on, they'll do what they're supposed to do. But we also had the students that will log on, do nothing, cut their cameras.
How you deal with that?
And it was one of those situations you really couldn't do anything but what you can do, mark them absent. You had students that would get on there in their pajamas, go to sleep. You had parents that were in the background half dressed, cussing.
I saw a lot of things going on.
A couple of times I have to tell parents, excuse me, could you have your child cut the camera off? We can hear you. Right. That type of thing.
Cussing them out.
Cussing them out. I mean, just on 10. It was kind of difficult for the ones that goof off when we're in school. But for the ones that wanted to learn, we got on there and we did what we needed to do. You know, and I'm one of those no nonsense type of teachers. So if you don't want to be here, I'm not going to beg you. You know, I'll give you the whole speech about education, what you need to do and things like that. But I'm here to help you.
Right.
And, you know, sometimes they need to hear that because they come in, they goof off, they're asleep, they got their hats on, their hoods on, and they're not trying to do what they need to do. And I'll tell them, don't come to school if you don't want to learn. Mm-hmm. You know, we're here to learn and not play. So for the most part, I'll say that it was kind of 50-50. I was able to get my lessons done because I did them regardless. Mm-hmm. So when it's time to take a test, if you're not prepared, whose fault is that?
So it sounds like, to me, if you had to, like, just give it a, like you said, 50-50, mm-hmm. do you feel like most of the kids are well-rounded, or does it seem like most kids are just having troubles nowadays when they come to school?
Honestly, it's more trouble. It's more trouble. And it really makes me sad.
What do you think so what is exactly, because it can't just be that the parents aren't doing their job. What is it?
I think, honestly, 80% of it is the parents not doing their job.
Okay.
They're not. Mm-hmm. Because
when you say they're not doing their job, so you have, like, in most cases, mm-hmm. I'm a single parent, mm-hmm. again, and I say every morning, like, when the bus doesn't make it, or we don't see the bus or whatever, or the days where she calls me and the bus isn't coming to pick them up and I have to run and go get her and things like that, and just everything. I'm like, how do parents who work every day, all day, how do they even do this?
Yes.
You know?
And you know, things happen. You know, it's like, you know, it's no excuse for a school system not providing what the student needs. It's no excuse for that on any level. But when I say the parents, for example, you're a single mother, but she knows manners. Mm-hmm. She's not going to go to school deliberately and act crazy.
Most days.
She's not going to go to school and just walk up to someone, you know, go up to someone and just slap them. You know, she's not going to go to class and the teacher say, "Hi, how are you?"
I get what you're saying.
L, and she say, "Shut up, B, mm-hmm. don't speak to me."
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. A lot of students don't even have the basics to be respectful on a level. So to go from home doing that and then to come in to school, what do you think they're going to give us?
They don't know the boundaries. They definitely don't know respect boundaries.
And if you're in a school system that's not going by the rules that they're putting in place and being strict on them, mm-hmm. if you say fighting is 30 days, when a fight jump off, let it be 30 days. Don't say, "Oh, well, this is his first offense, I'm going to let little Johnny get old." You can't do that, because children will take that and run with it. And that's what a lot of that is what's going on. Mm-hmm. If you notice, I didn't even say what school system I work in because I don't want to. But a lot of the discipline is put in place, but it's not being used.
So have you worked in suburban?
Yes.
And urban?
Yes.
And what might be some of the differences, or are there any?
I'm gonna say this. Every school district has their ups and downs. Mm-hmm. But, you know, you can tell the school districts that's struggling.
Struggling.
As far as what the students have, what they need, the staff. You have schools that have...
Are the suburban schools struggling?
Yeah, they're struggling, mm-hmm. but not as much as urban.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
If you get what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. A lot of urban schools are behind when it comes to even technology.
Yeah.
You know, some of the things that my son is using, our schools are just using them, and he's been using this stuff since elementary.
So, do you feel like parents have the biggest impact on the child?
Definitely.
When it comes to going to school and
definitely.
Learning? What about you, Elle? Who do you think has the biggest impact when you go to school and you know, you decide to do well that day? What's the biggest impact that makes you want to do, you know, be good as a student?
Well, it's like the teachers, because like if we have a teacher that's like, you know, well, y'all do whatever y'all want to do. Okay, I'll do whatever I want to do. But if we got a teacher that's like a mother or, you know, like has boundaries, but at the same time understandable and willing to help you, then that will make me like want to learn. Like I'll be engaged. But if it's just one of them teachers like, you know what, I can't get you under control, I'm done.
Just give up on
Go on YouTube.
And that's true.
So, I know that there's a difference in between, you have some schools that have, I think that public schools, you have to be certified educators. And then with the charter schools, you don't?
Some charter schools you do have to be. Yes. You have to have some type of certification some way, somehow. You can't just like go in there and say, oh, I want to be a teacher. It's not that easy. But charter schools aren't as strict as public schools.
So with that certification, is how much of the training or how much of the training actually is dealing with the psychological part of dealing with kids?
Well, it's a lot of testing. I'm going to say it's more of training far as training that you do outside of work. And we have something called professional development. And those are days that staff get together, even if it's school-wide or district-wide, and we'll have certain meetings about certain things of that sort. So it's kind of 50-50 with that because there's so much going on nowadays in the school system. It's pretty much one of those things that you have to try to fit it in. And they really do. They try to do the best that they can. But it also, I just want to say that as parents, you have to do what's best for your child. You don't definitely...
What's wrong with you, Lyric?
What is she
I'm
doing?
fighting the urge not to yell in the mic.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, wow.
Teenage things going on over here.
It's all good. It's all good. But yeah, I mean, it's training. It is training. But like I said, you deal with so much during the workday.
I guess I want to know how do okay, so Lyric had an issue in school, more than one, to where I feel like the teacher's response or what they said to her was damaging. Could be damaging if she didn't come to me and tell me, if she was left to herself to process what was said to her and then, act on it. That, if she didn't have anybody to talk to and just, go through it. How do you deal with that as a parent with a teacher? Because I really want to go talk to the teacher and, give her a one-on-one because of the fact that, a lot of the teachers are younger. Like my children's age or even younger at times. So I can kind of, I know that they're from a different, that we already speak different languages.
Right.
And so I just want to go in there and, just kind of sit her down and give her a class, just on psychology and your words. Yeah. Like, do you realize how powerful your words are?
And you should.
What was said to you? Okay, we're just going to go with this one instance with the dance teacher and your clothes. Can you tell me what happened? What was said during that interaction?
Oh, like what she said, or what led up to her? What led
up to it, and what she said.
Okay, so we were practicing the dance because we had this thing called the Grammys, and we had to have like clothes so we could dance properly. So I had on like some leggings and maybe a long sleeve shirt. And I didn't feel comfortable in it, but that's kind of like just something I grabbed. And so it was like boys in the cafeteria because that's where we were practicing. Our cafeteria has a stage.
Before you finish, can I ask you what made you uncomfortable?
Because I could hear them talking about me. Like.
So you were uncomfortable once you put it on or before you put it on?
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, so go ahead with the story. I'm just wondering, were you already feeling, self-conscious about what you were wearing before you went in, or were you okay until you started getting unwanted attention?
Oh, okay, that one.
Okay, you were okay until, okay, so then go ahead with the story.
So at the time, I was in 8th grade, and these boys were like in the 11th grade. And so, like, hearing them talk about my body in a sexual way, that just made me like...
What were they saying?
I'm not saying that.
Okay. So, but they were saying it loud enough where you could hear it. So that means that the teacher could hear it.
Yeah.
Okay. So go ahead. Go for it.
So then I think I pulled her aside, or I don't know if it was after, and I was like, well, I don't feel comfortable. Okay, I don't remember. It was before. And I told her, I was like, I don't feel comfortable with them watching me dance.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you know, like we had a little popping and stuff.
Right.
And she was like, oh, it's okay. You know, you just got body or something.
Okay.
I was like.
So to me, that was like so messed up on every level. Because number one, she had an opportunity to go to these young men and teach them how to interact with the young girls and not to be so predatory, you know, and rapey vibes, you know, and all those types of things. And also she had an opportunity to talk to the girls, you know, but instead it's like she gave my child she wanted her to look at it like, well, you got a bad body, go on and show it, you know, show it off, you know, and why you worried about it, that type of thing. But she's not that type of girl. You know, some girls are. Don't mind, you know,
Definitely
doing all that in front of the guys. But she obviously was uncomfortable with it, and I felt like she should have made it a more comfortable environment instead of disregarding.
And I agree 100%. And I agree with you going to speak with that teacher.
So what happens when they speak and the teacher don't even act on it?
And see, and that's the thing, you know, that's not okay. You know, even as teachers and educators, we're there to protect the students. If a child come to me and tell me that they can say they heard, you know, Ms. Walker, can you walk me to the bus because such and such said after school they want to fight me. I'm gonna walk that student to the bus because ain't gonna be no fight. And that's just what it is.
Be afraid to walk to the bus.
Exactly. And I'm gonna say who want to fight? Take me to their class. Hey, you need to come here. What's up? What's going on? You know, that's just me. Because I feel like when you come to school to learn, and you just shouldn't have to deal with that.
So I would think. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So that was inappropriate. That shouldn't have been said. And as a parent, I would go up there and I would be livid.
Is that the same teacher that you still have? So they changed dance teachers, right? So this new dance teacher that she has, she carries an attitude. She doesn't have a good attitude. And those type of people, they try during the day, but their real attitude always seems to come out. And it's horrible when it comes out to kids. And a kid can call you on how bold your attitude is. You know what I mean? Like if a kid knows and sees like something wrong, you know, or whatnot. And so it was another instance, same type of instance where she was, it had to do with her clothing, because this just happened like a week or two ago, which was actually the scenario I was talking about.
Okay.
But you told me about the one that happened last year, where the lady told you had your butt was too big.
Wow.
Okay. Tell me what happened with that.
So, me and my friend Roro, we stay after school for majorette practice, and usually, like, we wear, like, shorts because it was too hot outside, so we would wear some shorts. And it wasn't, like, you know, booty shorts or nothing, but it was just regular shorts. And so, she told us that we had to stop wearing shorts because, well, she was mainly talking to me because my butt was too big.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Not appropriate at all.
That's not appropriate. And to me, okay, she already has to deal with other, you know, issues with, you know, just growing up and learning to accept this about herself and this and that. And then you don't know where this child is at mentally or whatever. And to add that on, or to possibly add a scar or something that she has to work through, like I don't, but I would think that a dance teacher is not held to the same accountability as a regular teacher when it comes to, are they certified?
They are.
Do they have to go through the same?
Yeah, they have to go through everything. Their stipulations and requirements are different, but no, they are held. You're a teacher, you're an educator. Any educator, staff member in any school is held responsible for whatever they do. That doesn't matter.
I'm saying, would they happen to have gotten like the same training or the
Yes,
same?
because you're in the school. You know, it's no different. When we have meetings, professional developments, it's not just for teachers. It's for A's, noon hour A's. It's for paraprofessionals. It's for, you know, academic interventionists. It's for everybody. So no, that's just not appropriate.
Her thing is she never wants me to address it really, because she doesn't want to be the kid who tells on everybody or gets the teachers in trouble or whatnot. And then the one teacher who did get in trouble for things that the kids were telling that he was doing, he started treating the ones that he knew actually said something. He started treating them different and treating them like kind of bold in school, you know.
You know, I'm gonna be honest. You know, when it comes to that, sometimes it's the environment. It's the environment. Every teacher that's teaching, every educator that's in a building, a school, some of them are not there to teach. Mm-hmm. They're there because it's a paycheck. Mm-hmm. I'm just happen to be the ones that's, you know, stuck around for so long because I enjoy what I do, you know, and I love the kids, you know. I love to see them grow up, go to high school, go to middle school, you know, I love it. But everyone isn't like that. Mm-hmm. And if you run across somebody that's not doing right by her, if it means you got to switch up the whole district and put her somewhere else, at the end of the day, we have to do what's best for our babies. You know, sometimes, you know, we have
She doesn't want to go. She doesn't want to go somewhere where she has to go new and get adjusted and all.
But
especially
sometimes,
just now going into the 9th grade.
Yeah, but sometimes that's best. That's best because as you get older, it's going to get worse. You know, you're gonna.
You think that I would have a successful time in snatching her out of a school that she wants to be in and putting her into a school that she didn't necessarily want to be in?
Well, okay, let me ask you a question, Elle. What is your reason for wanting to be there with everything that's going on, all the drama, you know, what is your reason for wanting to be there?
My friends. Yeah.
Is that it?
Mm-hmm.
So you think you're not going to make new friends? You might make better friends.
No.
You will. Mm-hmm. You will. You will. And you know, I just think with that, it's just sometimes we have to do what we know is best for their mental health. Mm-hmm. You know, prime example, Ray told me what school he wanted to go to. Mm-hmm.
What school was that? Is he? Oh, I didn't know if he was going or not.
No. He's there. Like the high school that he wanted to go to a different high school. Okay. He told me. He said, "Mom, you know."
Did that inconvenience you? The school that
he's in now to
go to? Yeah.
Yes, but it's okay. I'm not going to say it's an inconvenience. It's just that he has to be dropped off, picked up. When he has a half a day, I gotta leave, go to lunch early, pick him up. But you know what? I'm cool with that because I know that he's getting the education that he needs and he's happy. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You know.
And it's only 4 years.
Yeah, exactly. And he'll be driving before I know it. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? When I could have put him in a school that I didn't have to do anything. You go get on the bus. You got your key. But now it's one of those situations that I have to drop him off every morning, pick him up, drop my daughter off because my husband is going to work at 5. Mm-hmm. And when it snow, I have to do the same thing. Right. So when I get off at 2:40, he get off at 2:45.
That was the reason why she got into the school that she got in. I won't even lie. I went to find a school that had a bus that came as close to our house as possible. Okay, because unlike you, I've done this already. I did that.
So I get it.
You know, my daughter graduated in 06. So then you're talking about 18 years ago.
Right,
or however many years.
So you let me make this easy on myself.
Yeah.
I'm not, I get it.
And the school, it was doing okay at first. I thought that we were good, but it's just really messy in there right now.
Yeah.
So I'm really contemplating on that, and I'm thinking about letting her go ahead and write out her 9th grade year, and hopefully she will be more developed mentally, and her confidence and things like that will be even better, so that when she does have to transition to it, she'll have an easier time. So I said I'm gonna let her do this 9th grade year, but we're definitely gonna have a discussion over the summer about where she'll be attending.
Yeah, and it's gonna be okay. You might go to a new school, girl, and be happy. You don't have to worry about nonsense.
Yeah.
You know, to have to go to school every day and deal with nonsense is just a lot.
When you actually want to learn.
When you want to learn, you know, you have those that don't want to learn, but you actually want to learn. And these are your high school years. You want to enjoy them. You know, you want to enjoy them. Like Ray don't like, for instance, Ray don't like a lot of riffraff.
Yeah.
At all. He be like, I'm straight. And it is so funny because his teacher's like, is he always this laid back? He just everything, hi, how you doing? All right. Like he just be, and that's just how he is. So he didn't want to go to a school that is all this extra. He don't like it. So when he came to me and said, Ma, I want to go here, and they had a waiting list, and they was like, well, you know, we have a waiting list for 9th grade, and I don't know. And I just stepped out on faith and enrolled them anyway. I'm like, oh, she's like, and if a spot come available, and I'm like, I felt some type of way because I'm like, my son, you know, really want to go here, and dang, you know, and I prayed about it, and I got a letter in the mail saying he was accepted. And so I'm saying that to say, Lyric, is like, keep your options open, honey. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, Gigi, if you feel some type of way, I will go and talk to those teachers because that's not okay.
I got one more question. Have you ever been in a position where you had to hold another teacher accountable for their words or their actions?
Actually, I haven't, but I have had to say, you know, when I was working with special needs students, when we would do, I had this was some years back, and she would do the program. And I would notice that every time she would do the program, my kids will be last.
Oh.
And I'm like, I wasn't feeling that.
Right.
You know, why are they always last? We're not gonna do this. And she was like, oh, I wasn't looking. Yes, no, okay, they do have disabilities, but they are people too.
Right.
They don't always have to be last.
So when you were
and I had to go to her and let her know, like, I felt some type of way about that because those are my babies. You know, we're having field trips. We were always, you know, was last, you know, no funding left. It was almost like, oh, they special needs and no, I don't play that.
And they know. Those
I don't
special
play
kids, they know when they're being mistreated or put to the back.
One thing they know about Miss Walker, she gonna protect y'all by all means. So I have had to have my words, you know, on a professional level, but I don't hold them up because at the end of the day, we have to be the voices for the students. And you all send your kids to school with expectations of us protecting them, protecting their mind, their hearts, their soul.
All of that.
You know, I tell my kids I love them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You had teachers tell you that, Elle? Have you ever had teachers who say, I love you, and you actually believe them?
They don't tell me that.
Oh, okay.
See?
You've never had a teacher tell you that?
No.
Oh.
You ever had a teacher that you thought felt that way? Okay.
Yeah.
You have any now?
No.
Okay.
Well, I'm so sorry you're experiencing that.
Yeah.
Too bad you're not at my school.
We all have to do better as parents, as instructors, as aunties, uncles,
grandmothers, grandfathers.
All of that. We have to do better as adults because it just seems like are we failing them or are they failing us? I can't even. The line is getting blurred.
Yeah, it's like what's going on?
I don't know what's going on. So I have one more thing that I want to do, Miles, before we end this show. Thank you, Alicia, for coming on.
No problem.
I just want to do Would You Rather with you and her. Okay? So, I want you to pick one. Would you rather have an iPhone or an Android?
iPhone.
You know, I'm Android. Them iPhones is too complicated for me. My son got one, and I can't stand it.
And what's your reason for iPhone?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Oh. It's just like a better version. Like, you know, they're the same thing, but just better.
Okay. So, what subject would you score higher in? English or math?
English all day.
What about you?
English.
Me, I probably do good in both.
Really?
Yeah, I think I do good in both. Would you rather, Elle, go scuba diving or skydiving?
Skydiving. I don't know how to swim.
What about you, Alicia?
Neither.
You don't know how to fly. You don't know how. Let's say you don't know how to fly.
Neither.
I would do the scuba diving before I do this jumping out of plane.
Go ahead.
I would go under the water. Yeah.
Get ate by a shark.
Yeah, you're gonna get ate by a shark if you don't land right. Okay, would you rather be a firefighter or a policeman?
Policeman? It depends. Like, I'd rather be in the police, but like a different force. I think that's what it's called.
Like you may want to be, you don't want to be a street cop, is what you're saying?
No, like I want to be a SWAT.
Oh, you have to. It's levels to that.
Right.
I think that you have to start off at a certain place and then get to those other
Move
places.
on up.
Yeah. What about you?
If I had a choice, I would probably say police.
And my old brave self, I say firefighter.
Really?
I would. Okay, the last one. If you had one way to travel for the rest of your life, and it was either skates or a skateboard, which one would it be?
This is, I think, skateboard.
Yeah, skateboard. I'll go with that too.
Why? Why? Elle?
Because skates are too heavy. I'm not about to be. And then, you get tired and stuff. Like,
So that's right.
Yeah, you'll get tired with both.
yeah.
And you said skates?
I'll say yes, skates.
Why?
Neither really, but just for the sake of the question, skates.
Well, you can always walk without them, but
Yeah.
this is your way of getting around
I'll
faster.
I'll walk, run. Give me a bike.
I think I do the skates.
Ew.
I think I do the skates. Okay, so that's the end of the show. Y'all, we're going to have a lot more topics, especially when it comes to dealing with the education of our children and what they go through in school, as well as a lot of other topics. So I thank everybody who joined us today. Thank you, Alicia.
Thanks for having me.
coming
Thank
to the
you.
show. Thank you, Lyric.
Yeah.
Your input was very insightful.
Yes, very.
It was very insightful. I wish we had, more kids on the panel today, especially. But we're going to work on that, for future shows when we deal with topics like this. Thank you, everybody. Come back next Sunday at 3. Where can they reach you if they want to? I don't even.
Okay, well, I'm also
because you also have
yes,
products.
yes. I'm also the owner of Vicky Mac clothing line, Vicky Mac Luscious Lip Lacquer. Me and my husband, we're doing a collaboration. He has The Official Brands, so you can reach The Official Brands on Instagram or Facebook or theofficialbrands.com. You can reach me at vickymac.com or Vicky Mac Detroit, Instagram and Facebook.
Okay, and Elle, give them your handle again, your Instagram handle again.
I forgot the name.
Oh, you don't want to give it to them this week?
No, because I changed it.
Oh, okay. Well, next week. All right. And so I'm your host, Medina. You can reach me. I'm Medina Smith on Facebook, Mogul and Stilettos on Instagram. And that's it. You can find me there. I'll talk to y'all next week.
Thank
Bye.
you. Thank you.